Thanks so much. Good afternoon. Okay, my talk is, I'm here only to share about my flow cytometry experience, fellowship experience, and thoughts on strategies of implementing flow cytometry in Ethiopia. This is my outline, the current state of flow cytometry in Ethiopia, and experience of my flow cytometry fellowship, and thoughts on implementation of flow cytometry in our practice. So currently there is no single flow cytometry center, I mean clinical flow cytometry center in Ethiopia. But from personal communication, I know there is a flow cytometry service, flow cytometry for research at Black Lion and Armour Hudson Research Institute, on and off for lymphoma, leukemia research and cytokine research and so on. Otherwise, most flow cytometry cases are outsourced to India. So in a survey done in 2023, around 50 to 60 leukemia flow cases are sent out to India per month. That's in monetary like 1.6 million Ethiopian birr per month. That's around 29,000 USD per month. So to give you an information, leukemia panel costs around 18 to 40,000 birr per panel for patients. That's around 550 USD per panel. And I tried to search for the US price. That's around 150 USD. That is 3.7 times. Yeah. And so in a year, we send out like 600 to 720 cases per year. That's around 20 million Ethiopian birr per year in this year. And approximately it's 500,000 USD in a year. Next. And a survey done by one of my friends, Johannes, in 2020, it's a need assessment from the clinicians, hematologists, and so on. In a month, there are around 368 cases that require flow cytometry in a month. And also I did a survey very recently in 2023-24 from St. Paul's, around 180 cases require flow cytometry per month from a private diagnostic center, oncopathology, around 45 because I have option for the immunohistochemistry. Next. So currently, what do we have as an option? Leukemia or lymphoma diagnosis. For leukemia, because we don't have flow cytometry, some patients who can afford, we can do like immunohistochemistry on bone marrow biopsy with limited antibodies in a private center. With an objective of differentiating between LL and ML, and lymphoma from acute leukemia, and so. Otherwise, we mostly base our diagnosis on morphology alone, peripheral blood, bone marrow, and so. That's really very challenging. Next. Yeah, it's very difficult to make a classification of leukemia or lymphoma with morphology alone. So sometimes we may be lucky, we just tell them a specific diagnosis. Otherwise, mostly we use diagnostic terms of uncertainty, like acute leukemia, favor this, favor that, and so on. But the clinicians, hematologists are not happy. Sometimes, yes, Dr. Like Dellu said, like lymphoblast like blasters, we cannot do anything. I mean, we cannot be certain about those kind of undifferentiated type of blasters. So depending on the age, the clinical findings and so on, we may like use terms like suggestive, suspicious for LL acute leukemia. They don't like it, but what can we do? So my point in this thing, the 500,000 USD, what can one do with 500,000 USD? One-time investment, can purchase like a latest flow cytometry machine, reagents, and cover operational costs to serve close to 1,500 patients one time. So my experience of flow cytometry fellowship started in 2015. I got a chance to a training in India, Bangalore. That's a 1-year training, and I had an exposure in bone marrow reading and flow techniques, mostly observation and also interpretation. Okay, and while I was there, I learned about this concept of leapfrogging technology. While I was reading a bone marrow pathology book by Barbara J. Bain, a UK pathologist, and a chapter about leukemia diagnosis in a resource limited setting, I found like there are machines, flow cytometry machines in resource limited settings, which were being used for HIV monitoring, CD4, CD8 counting, and so on. And she talks about that one can use that opportunity to leapfrog this technology to acute leukemia, immunophenotyping, and so on. So when I came back, and I found that to be true. I mean, there are a lot of flow cytometry machines in different laboratories, including St. Paul, CPHI, and so on, everywhere in the country. So I visited APHI, and I found out not only the machine, they have also flow cytometry reagents in 2017. So we triangulated, formed the collaboration to start a flow cytometry pilot kind of service. With that, Professor Sanait and also our visionary leader, Dr. Zareen, was very instrumental. So we got a trainer from the University of Michigan, Dr. Rajan, and also he brought us also a technologist, the flow technologist, and EPHI made the facility, the reagents available. And we conducted like a 3 days hands-on training on flow techniques and interpretation for technologists from St. Paul's and as well from EPHI. And we started the flow cytometry service using this BD fast caliber machine with a 2 laser, a 4-color machine. We used CellQuest for data acquisition. And we constructed panels, 4-color panels, multiple tube, that is laborious and resource intensive kind of thing, because you have to waste a lot of antibodies. And for the data analysis, we got a permission from Flojo. Nowadays, there are a lot of free softwares, but then it was very difficult to get a free software. So I asked it with a letter, and I'm grateful for Flojo allowed me to use this software for analysis for a year. And so how did we manage those data? The FCS files, mostly we sent out to Dr. Rajan. He analyzed on his side, and from this side also we analyzed it. And when there are issues, we repeated on the samples and so on. And with that, we reported on the samples, and we used also morphologic findings and clinical information for the final diagnosis. So we used this service for 42 acute leukemia suspects from St. Paul's and Black Lion, free of charge. So the same objectives to differentiate LL from cell PD, LL from ML, and we communicated the results to the respective physicians. After that, service could not be sustained. The reagents ran out. The whole process was not adequately taught on from the APHI side as well, the budgeting, communication with vendors, distributors, manufacturers, and so on. The partnership with Michigan for this purpose could not be sustained from the St. Paul side. So we remained no clinical flow zone after that. And again, in 2020, I won this American Society of Hematology VTP Mentorship Award for lymphoma immunohistochemistry and flow cytometry techniques and interpretation. And I had a 3 months attachment at Virginia Commonwealth University Pathology Labs. I got hands-on technical training in flow cytometry involved with post-tech analysis of flow data, from June to August. And also some additional attachments in cytogenetics and 2 weeks attachment in molecular pathology and some training. Thank you. And analyzed more than 100 flow reports from the hematopathology archive, flow archive, and got a mentorship on selected challenging cases of hematologic malignancy by Dr. Chesney, who's my mentor. Had a chance to participate in machine validation as well. They were upgrading their machine from Fax Canto to BD Lyric. Attended case discussion sessions involving flow analysis with attendings and hematopathology fellows. Got a chance to meet and attend Dr. Raj Kumar discussing flow cases with fellows. She's a hematopathologist who wrote also a book. It's my past flow cytometry. She also gave me this interesting book. I got certificate for that. And after that, I have to come back and implement this training. So it's not an easy thing. So when I applied for ASH VTP, I told them I have a full support. I mean, a backup from my admin. There's a plan to purchase flow machine, reagents, and IHC, IH3 reagents and machine. And we have an allocated room for these two techniques and so on. Yeah, that's not a lie, because I was really optimistic and hopeful that admin would do that. And because I know that there is a BD fax caliber machine in the main lab, so I translocated to our building. I made that ready for the flow cytometry and so on when I come back and so on. But what I learned is this BD fax caliber machine is obsolete in 2021. The BD stopped manufacturing parts and all services this year. This is a dedicated room for the flow cytometry. One of the dusty rooms is closed now, but there is a machine, as you can see, a flow cytometry BD machine with a lot of missing parts. And I also up front, I was told that there is no budget for a machine purchase, but if you can make like the antibodies or the reagents locally available, there is a chance that it can be purchased. That's a promise from the admin side. And I was trying for external funds, grants, and so on. 2 times I tried, but I was not successful. That I may need some advice on these things. And I'm a little bit scared because if I'm successful on implementation IHC, by the way, we could implement a manual IHC. We have more than 40 antibodies, and we are going to enter into the clinical practice. We have done with the verification part with that, but flow cytometry, that's one of the biggest challenges implementing flow cytometry. So if this promise is broken, the St. Paul's Hospital will be excluded from any ASH VTP opportunities in the future. So I may close door of opportunities for my colleagues. So my thoughts on the implementation of flow cytometry in our practice. To do flow cytometry in a sustainable manner, I think we need to think in terms of these financial things as well. So revolving fund and private wing model to incentivize those who are involved. And if the reagents are made locally available with machine placement or leasing, and for that, we need to enter into a strong agreement with the vendors or distributor for a machine placement, leasing, maintenance, and continuous reagent supply. And we need additional in-service technical interpretation and troubleshooting trainings. This we hope we can get it from Mayo Clinic. And the other thing, public to do it like in a sustainable manner, the role of public-private partnership cannot be overemphasized. The other is the role of the Ministry of Health in reactivating and availing flow reagents beyond CD4, CD8 through the Ethiopian Pharmaceutical Supplies Agency, leasing machines and so on. I was checking how they were doing it for HIV monitoring. I think that was through the United States government presidential fund since PEPFAR, something like that. So nowadays, HIV monitoring is by viral load and so on. And I cannot ignore this as well, the collaboration with Black Line and Hari for a potential clinical service, flow service, and also I cannot ignore donations because they really play a great role, because even expired antibodies or reagents, what's expired somewhere may work. I mean, we don't have that much FDA and so on. If it's an in vitro diagnosis, it's not a medication. If it works, if we can verify it, we can use it for patient services. So these are my thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mesfin, for that wonderful talk on application of flow cytometry in the local setting. And as you can all imagine, that's kind of throughout the theme that we've heard about